Hey Stampin' friends, Darlene with Darlene Stamps. I'm glad you stopped by today. I have a treat for you, and it's kind of using the Beautiful Autumn and the paper and the stamp set, and then some extra little gems that I've had collected over the years for embellishment. So anyhow, this will be more of a how-to. What I wanted to show is not only the great stamp set, but also just some ways of adding layers. These layers could be for cards. This happens just to be one of our pizza boxes. They come as a pack of 8, and the inside actually is coated so you could put food items in it. And so I thought it would just kind of be nice to show that. And what I've done is I have put in here some little gift cards. Oops, I didn't want you to see that yet. Hold on. All right, so these actually are 3 by 6 cut down. And then I have used the coordinating paper for the inside little envelopes. And so I've got the 3 envelopes and then the cards that go inside. So anyhow, just using up that element. But what I did do, which I've already showed you my trick, I put some of the Hershey nuggets using the gilded paper from this set. And literally it's a 1-inch piece. And what I did was just glued one side, and as I wrap that around, and oh, don't get that on there, and then it just glues right down. So anyhow, so that way they have a little treat as they get their cards, and there is their box. Now I want to also show you, I actually did some texture to it. And so I'm going to take off this pretty nice piece and show my splatter aspect. And I've got most of the ink off, and I wasn't going to stop because I want to keep on going. But I want to show you with the aqua painters, I have alcohol in there because I want it to dry faster. So that's your tip for today, is you can put water in, but when you use the ink, the water, it could make it warp, or not really the box per se, but at least this. So I'm going to put a little bit of the alcohol in here, swish that around. And then, now I was going to put gloves on and I didn't, but I did get most of those off. And all I'm going to do is splatter that as thick as I want. But that's why you don't want to have the clothes that are important or the paper, because the splattering can get quite messy. Anyhow, and then what I'm going to do on this one is actually put a little bit of stamping on this while it's flat. And let me get that off of there. Okay, so that's enough for that, but I do want to, so ignore my icky finger now, and let me get this cleaned off. So cleans up real well, and now I'm ready for my next thing. I actually have some little wipes. I was going to try to get my gloves on, because then it won't take me forever to get this out of my fingernail. But since I was trying to get this done, we are packing. So my craft room, which is the last thing to be packed, and I wanted to get this set before next week, since that is our move day. But what I want to do is take the stamp set, and I want to take the Cajun Craze, and I want to stamp leaves on it. And these leaves are in the set that with the Beautiful Autumn. And that way I can get a little bit of dimension on it prior to folding it up. And I've got the speckles on it, which is fine, but I wanted to get a little bit more on it. So anyhow, in doing that, what it does also is when you have, when it's open or when it's part of like a pattern paper kind of. So I'm just making a little bit of interest in my box, even though I'm going to be covering it, and you'll see that in my my design as I put it together. The biggest thing that I'm trying to do is kind of give you some ideas. So for Christmas giving, so this is our countdown number 6, is putting a level of different things. Sometimes like for our coworkers, we may not want to maybe give them a card. We want to give them some a little bit more. So this would be perfect when you are considering, you know, having it filled with treats or having it filled with some sort of goodies, like what I did. So there kind of gives us our background. So we have the speckles in there. We've got the elements of the leaves. And now with the beautiful autumn and the gilded paper, I can now put together my, that close here. We can put together my box. And then we will build. So part of the building of this, any type of card or project, you want to add as many, I think, many elements as possible for certain purposes that pertain to how it's going to either go through the mail, or if it's going to have to be in a box or a present. So anyhow, so that is our, oops, well, that goes together, and there is our pizza box. So has a cute little pattern to it, and I already have my pieces already cut out. I want to stay within the process, and I want to show you, I did my the Gilded Autumn Specialty Design Paper. I already did my Love It, Chop It, and I use the little clear cases that Stampin' It has, and so they're all 4 by 5 1/4, and then my pieces that get cut and extras will go in here and get stored. And then this time what I did was the 12 by 12 sheets. I took one of the sheets of every single pattern and cut them by 6 by 6, because some projects are going to end up that way. This also is our gold flock paper, or gold, there's gold and copper, but it's still specialty paper. Anyhow, so I'm just going to start building, and I think you'll find as I put this together, it really becomes an element of just having what works. I'm not going to put a layer in the back, just in the 3 sides. And I had thought about that prior to. I'm so I feel bad. I'm sorry that my finger, it looks disgusting. Should have done that. Should have done my glove. Oh well, you'll forgive me, I hope. All right, so as I'm going through and putting the same kind of gold, copper, specialty paper that was on the top, and this is just adding our layers. Now, because I have just part of the gilded specialty paper, this is this side, I wanted to make sure that see, this actually is copper, and so is this, so that would be okay. But I didn't want to add a lot of it. I wanted it to accent. So I'm going to use the flip side. And since this is our main piece, I cut out these pieces. Now this actually is 3 1/4 by, I'm sorry, 3 1/4 by 3/4. And then this is just a 1/2 by 3 1/4. So you get kind of our layers in there. And I had put in, or as was putting together the project and the paper, it really kind of seemed like it would be great to have the copper on copper, but to me it was just too much. So it was no longer an accent, but it was kind of, I don't know, too busy. So, okay, so now we have that, and I'll show you as I put together. I had some pieces that I almost blew that. Okay, I want this for my base. Obviously, I used that piece inside, but this is our square, so it's our scallop square. So you have a choice. So the background is the ivory or the vanilla. And so I wanted to bring that out, and it will pop on here versus doing the espresso. So that's kind of my thought process, is that you can choose, well, it's kind of what you have. If you have the early espresso, then do the early espresso. But I wanted to be more lighter since my copper was darker. So now what I'm going to do is build. So I want to be able to, I use a little Eat, Drink, and Be Cozy, which is from the warm hugs that I used in the last video. And so I use that, and I want to be able to pop that up. I have a little banner in here. So this is how we create. We just kind of form that. I don't want that too wide. So I'm going to cut this down to about there. And that way, this was just one of the die cuts that I took out from the paper. And I'm going to put that right in there. As I build this, I do want to raise it. So I think what we're going to do is start to put our pieces together, because then I have all of these little guys. And this, I tried this at first, but you see how it kind of blends, and it looks okay here. And then I got kind of crazy, and I wound up doing some Wink of Stella on there. So, and then my little pine cone. But the cream, which looked nice, so I didn't want to do more cream, so I just used the Gilded on there. And let's see, I've got a couple of pieces in here, and I've got my little, I took one of the papers, and the bundle, when you get it, comes with these three, the little oak, and then the acorn, and then the leaf. So when I punched these out, the paper, it was really cool because it already had the coloring, and all I did was just do the leaves. So let's make a pile. These will be my oak pieces. Is that oak? I think, or maple. There you go. It was maple. All right, and that way I can build my little wreath that I want around there. So we are, again, in the midst of moving, and in doing so, my plan was to try to get a couple of videos like stacked and packed, but that didn't happen. So you have to go with the flow, and that's what I'm doing. So all I'm doing right now is just getting my little piles together, so when I'm building, I can just grab from my piles. Okay, and then this is from my pieces. So when I do my die cuts, so I did my squares, did my leaves, did my little circle, my little leaf on there. See what I tried doing? I tried, because I don't have the die set that I have this for, the Forever Fern, doesn't have a stamp set that goes on here. So I tried to do that, didn't work. So we'll use something else. But I try to maximize when I'm doing dies. So I just want to let you see that to kind of help in that process. Okay, so we are going to just build, build, and build. And if I build, then I can attach it to here. Okay, so anyhow, back to my story. So I am, this is my last video for at least a week, so that I can get the process of packing underway. Hubby has been ever so kind, because he is he's my Pac-Man. Sorry, not Pac-Man is in the video. He is my packing partner. There we go. We'll just use packing partner. Okay, So I'm going to have everything stick up. So I'm just going to glue this down. And then you can kind of see as things build. I'm using the mint macaron, which is the same color in the gilded paper. So there we go. And then, so this is how kind of, all right, so we have that. We need more layers. So I want to bring in some of that. So let's just, oh, perfect. Okay. So we don't have to be exact on this. Plus my little crimper kind of is angled a little bit. So I'm just going to cut that. See how that just added a little bit more? Just a little bit more. And because the gilded paper is all in the Cajun craze and the mint macaron, and so that just popped that up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I can actually put this down because it's not going to be a part of my raised. Yoinks! Goodness. Okay, so now we have this. Perfect. Now I've got these leaves, and I'm thinking that if I put these on, golly gee, it looks like I just may. See, so this is, oh, okay, that'll work. All right. So we'll build a little pile of leaves right here. And in doing so, a couple things will happen. One, we'll get some dimension up here. And then two, it'll kind of give a little bit of color and some extra layers. So the reason I try to show you one and then put one together is that I just think it's good practice to really add some, oh, that was perfect, to add some areas of what makes it work. How do you do that? Sometimes you can look at which is why I'm doing this and showing you, because if you're making one and you do it and you go, you know, something's missing, generally it's a layer. If you add a layer, you're good to go. That really is how it works. So I have a little bit of ribbon, and this is where I think we will just so I wanted ribbon, but I don't have really space for it. I put a bow. I'll put a bow right there. Let's see if I can do an itty bitty one. I'm talking itty bitty. Well, let's see. So pretty soon we should be getting our pumpkin. And so as many of you who have subscribed, and let me just say how absolutely blessed I am that you have decided to just choose to subscribe, and just thrills my soul, because, you know, there's times where with this kind of a market of staying in the house and putting together different types of workshops, sometimes it's, you know, we need to be safe. But in doing so, it means that we don't have time together. So I don't get to have workshops. So this is my outlet. You are my outlet. And then there are those that send wonderful comments, which just uplift me and confirm that this form of workshop, it works. It's not the same, I understand. I can't see your smiling faces. I do get smiling faces on the comments. Those are nice. And so, yeah, in doing that, it's just a Okay, so now I'm going to try to find where I want to put my bow. And I think we're going to put right below there. There. All right, and then I do like my, I think I just stopped mid-sentence and I don't even know where I was to finish that, so apologize. All right, and I want to use up these little pine cones, so we're going to put him there. These have been really good. I liked them when they came out, and I have to confess, I don't remember. I know they were last year. I just don't know if they brought them back, so I do apologize. I try to put things that are current, you know, so if you wanted to get them, by golly, you know, put them on your list. But these came in a real cute project, and because they are, I haven't used them too often because they are a bit of a bulk that if I was to, ooh, look how that turned out. A bulk that when if I'm doing a mail out, it really kind of ties things down and not able to put enough emphasis on my postage. so yeah, it just tends to be a little bit of a cost factor, which is fine. But if you were doing something like this, then obviously it's going to be trying to be a blessing. All right, so let's get our pretty paper back so that we can see these. And so you can see the difference that we wound up with just with the different sides, the different texture and background, but just using the gilded again. And let me just, before I go anywhere, let me just do one thing to show you. See how when I lifted this, which is fine, but now I'm not going to get this. So I do need to put a dimensional underneath this tree because it will not only anchor it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. Pizza boxes. You know, I will be making some of the envelopes and the cards to match in here. So with this background, and I will have some treats for my little gift bearer. No, I'm the bearer. Receiver. And just wanted to see about putting a little bit of an element in your Christmas season. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.